Hello, beautiful souls. Let me start by telling you this: you are a masterpiece. And if someone can't see that, it doesn't make you any less of who you truly are. Your worth is intrinsic. It's part of your very being. No matter how much they ignore, reject, or fail to understand you, your value is not defined by their perception of you. So, are you ready to embrace your true power and move forward unapologetically? Hello, beautiful souls. Let me start by saying you are a masterpiece. And if someone can't see that, it doesn't make you any less of who you truly are. Your worth is intrinsic. It's part of your being. No matter how much they ignore, reject, or fail to understand you, your value is not defined by their perception of you. It's time to embrace this truth and move forward unapologetically. Are you ready? Let's dive into why you are more than enough just as you are. Your worth is not something that can be measured or defined by the opinions of others. It certainly isn't something that fluctuates based on external circumstances. It is constant. It is unshakable. Your value is intrinsic, meaning it comes from within. It's woven into your soul, embedded in every thought, every action, and every experience that makes you, you. You don't need anyone else's approval to validate who you are. When you begin to understand this truth, a whole new world of empowerment opens up to you. Think about the times when you've been misunderstood or undervalued by others. Maybe someone told you that you weren't capable of achieving your dreams, or that you didn't have the qualities they were looking for. Maybe it was a relationship where you gave everything you had only to have it thrown back in your face. It hurts. It stings. It's disheartening when people you care about or look up to fail to recognize the brilliance you bring. But here's the thing: their inability to see your worth doesn't diminish it in any way. It doesn't change the fact that you're worthy, beautiful, talented, and full of untapped potential. Let's take a simple example from daily life. Consider an artist who spends years perfecting their craft. They pour their heart and soul into their work. Every brushstroke or every note played is a reflection of their inner world. But when they present their masterpiece to the world, not everyone appreciates it. Some may not understand the message, while others may not even give it a second glance. Does this mean the artist's value as a creator has diminished? Of course not. The value of their art was never contingent on the approval of others. It was always about the passion, the effort, and the heart they put into it. The artist's work is valuable because it is an expression of who they are, not because it's liked or admired by everyone. Now, let's bring this idea closer to home. Think about the people in your life who may have belittled your efforts or tried to make you feel like you weren't good enough. Maybe it was a family member who told you that you would never make it in your chosen career. Maybe it was a friend who tried to convince you that you weren't pretty enough or smart enough. When you hear these words, it's easy to let them shake your confidence and doubt your self-worth. But let's be real here. The person who said these things is projecting their own limitations and fears onto you. They are only trying to pull you down to their level because they can't see the limitless potential you possess. When you allow others' perceptions of you to define your value, you are essentially handing over control of your life to them. You are telling them that their opinion is more important than your own truth. The truth is that your worth is not defined by the fleeting judgments of others. It's not about whether they see your beauty, your intelligence, or your strength. It's about recognizing that no one can determine your worth but you. Let me give you another example. Imagine a woman who works tirelessly to build her career. She puts in long hours learning new skills, developing innovative ideas, and constantly pushing herself beyond her comfort zone. But no matter what she does, her colleagues don't seem to appreciate her contributions. They dismiss her ideas, take credit for her hard work, and make her feel invisible. Now, what if she allowed their lack of recognition to determine her value? What if she let their disregard make her feel like she wasn't worthy of success? She could easily spiral into self-doubt, but instead she chooses to believe in herself. She knows that her worth doesn't come from their approval. It comes from her drive, her determination, and her ability to keep going even when no one else notices. This woman understands something powerful. Her worth doesn't decrease just because others fail to see it. And this is where true power lies, in realizing that your worth is something no one can take away from you. When you know your worth, you don't seek validation from people who can't see it. You don't waste your energy trying to prove your value to those who aren't willing to recognize it. Instead, you focus on the ones who appreciate you for exactly who you are, who understand your worth, and who will stand by you as you rise. The truth is, we are constantly surrounded by people, systems, and even societal pressures that try to measure us by external standards, our appearance, our success, our achievements. But we must remember that none of these external markers truly define us. What makes us valuable is not what we do, but who we are. And who you are is enough. It always has been. There will always be people who refuse to see your brilliance, who don't understand your worth, and who can't see beyond their own limited perspectives. But let me tell you something. That's their issue, not yours. Their inability to appreciate you doesn't diminish your value in the slightest. It only serves as a reminder that you don't need anyone's approval to know your worth. You already have everything you need within you. You are complete, whole, and more than enough, regardless of what anyone else thinks. So the next time someone tries to make you feel small or tries to tell you that you're not enough, remember their opinion doesn't matter. Your worth is intrinsic, and it cannot be taken away or diminished by anyone's inability to see it. You are already valuable, already worthy, and already deserving of every good thing that comes your way. Never forget that. Never let someone else define your worth. It's one of the most powerful pieces of wisdom you can ever carry with you, because the moment you allow someone else to dictate your value, you hand them control over your life. You allow their perception of you to become your reality. And let me tell you something, their perception is based on their own fears, insecurities, and experiences. It is not a reflection of who you truly are or what you are capable of achieving. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you allowed someone's judgment to shape how you see yourself? Maybe it was a friend who told you that your dreams were too big, that you were reaching for something unattainable. Maybe it was a colleague who dismissed your ideas, making you feel small and insignificant. Or maybe it was a partner who made you question your worth, making you feel like you were always less than enough. And each time it happened, didn't you start to doubt yourself just a little bit more? Didn't you start to think, maybe they're right, maybe I'm not good enough after all? But let me tell you something profound. Their judgment was never about you. It was always about them. It was about their own limitations, their own fears, their own lack of belief in themselves. When someone tells you that you're not capable, it's not because they know the truth about you. It's because they're too afraid to step into their own greatness and can't stand to see someone else do it. They project their insecurity onto you and expect you to carry it for them. But here's the truth, you don't have to carry it. You don't have to take their limitations as your own. Let's take a real life example. Think about a woman who's been working for years to build her career. She's dedicated, passionate, and incredibly skilled. She knows her value, but her boss doesn't see it. Every time she brings up a new idea, it's shut down. Every time she does something impressive, it's ignored. She starts to wonder if she's doing something wrong. She starts to feel like maybe she isn't cut out for the job. But then one day, she takes a step back and asks herself, why am I allowing someone else's inability to recognize my worth affect how I see myself? She remembers all the accomplishments, all the late nights, all the time she pushed through when others wouldn't. And in that moment, she realizes that her worth doesn't depend on her boss's recognition. She's capable, she's deserving, she has always been, and nothing anyone says will ever change that. The same principle applies to relationships. Think about a time when you've loved deeply, given your all, and tried your best to make someone see how much you care. But no matter what you did, they never seemed to appreciate it. Maybe they took you for granted, ignored your feelings, or made you feel like you were always not enough. In those moments, it's easy to question your value, to start wondering if maybe you're just not lovable enough. But here's the truth. Their inability to appreciate your worth doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change the love you have to offer, the kindness you bring, or the strength you embody. It only reflects their inability to recognize your greatness. And that's not your problem. Take another example. A young person who has a dream to start a business. They're filled with ideas, passion, and drive. But when they share their vision with others, they get negative feedback. It's too risky. They say you're too young. They say you'll fail. Every word they speak chips away at the young person's confidence, making them question whether this dream is worth pursuing. But let's stop for a second and think. Why should their doubts dictate your future? Why should their fear stop you from taking the steps necessary to create your own destiny? They don't know your potential. They don't see what you see. You know that your worth is not tied to their perspective of you. You know that your dreams are worth pursuing regardless of who believes in them. It's in these moments of doubt, in these moments of rejection or dismissal, that you must remind yourself of this powerful truth. You are enough exactly as you are. You don't need anyone else's validation to prove your worth. You are not defined by the opinions of others. You are not defined by the job title you hold, the number of followers you have, or the amount of approval you get from people around you. Your value is built on your integrity, your passion, your kindness, your ability to rise after every fall. It is built on the courage to keep going when the world tells you to stop. And most importantly, it is built on your ability to define yourself, not allow others to do it for you. Think about how much stronger, how much more confident, and how much more unstoppable you would feel if you never allowed anyone to define your worth again. If you walked through the world knowing that no one's opinion of you could ever touch your soul. If you let go of the need to please others or seek their approval, you would walk with the confidence of someone who knows their own value, the strength of someone who understands that no one else has the power to diminish their light. It's time to stop letting other people's limitations shape your reality. You are the only one who gets to define your worth. You have the power to say, I am enough. No matter who agrees with you or not, when you begin to believe this, truly believe it, you will never look at rejection the same way again. You will never let someone else's opinion stop you from going after what you deserve, because you will know deep in your heart that your worth is not theirs to define. The right people will recognize your value even when others fail to see it. It's a powerful reminder that your worth is not determined by how many people acknowledge it, but by the fact that the right people, the ones who matter, will see it for what it truly is. There's a world full of individuals who may not appreciate your gifts, your brilliance, or your heart. But that's okay, because the people who are meant to be a part of your life will always recognize the value you bring. Part 16, hey. Think about the times you've been overlooked or ignored. Maybe it was at work, where you were consistently putting in extra hours, contributing valuable ideas, but still felt invisible. Perhaps you were surrounded by people who seemed to take credit for your hard work, making you feel unimportant or undervalued. Or maybe it was in a relationship where you gave all your love, all your effort, only to be treated like an afterthought. In these moments, it's easy to feel like you're not enough, to believe that maybe there's something wrong with you, or that your worth is tied to others' perceptions of you. But here's the truth. The right people will always recognize your value, even when the wrong ones overlook it. When you surround yourself with individuals who see you for who you truly are, they will appreciate your unique gifts and contributions. It's not about fitting into a mold or changing who you are to please someone else. It's about being unapologetically yourself and allowing the people who truly resonate with your energy to come into your life. Let me tell you a story about a young woman who, for years, poured her heart into her job. She gave everything she had, consistently going above and beyond, bringing fresh ideas and showing up with dedication and enthusiasm. Yet her efforts went largely unnoticed. She was passed over for promotions. Her input was dismissed in meetings. And no matter how hard she worked, she never seemed to get the recognition she deserved. At one point, she began to doubt herself, wondering if she was doing something wrong, questioning whether she would ever be acknowledged for her talent. But then something shifted. The right person, her new manager, recognized her potential. She saw the value in her work, in her drive, in her ideas, and her worth was finally recognized. The promotion she had been waiting for came, and with it an environment that appreciated and nurtured her abilities. The experience taught her something vital. Her value was always there. It was just about finding the right people who could see it. The wrong people might not recognize your worth, but the right people will see it and help you grow. This same principle applies to relationships. Think about a time when you've given so much to someone, a partner, a friend, a family member, and felt like it wasn't reciprocated. You put in the effort, you gave your love, you made sacrifices, but somehow they couldn't see your worth. You put in the effort, you gave your love, you made sacrifices, but somehow they couldn't see your worth. Maybe they took you for granted or didn't value the things you did for them. In these moments, it's easy to feel like you're unworthy of love or attention. But the truth is that the right person will always recognize your value. When you meet someone who truly understands your heart, who sees the depth of your love, they will appreciate every little thing you do. This is where true love and connection come in. When you stop settling for people who can't see your value, and you start attracting the ones who do, it's like magic. The people who will appreciate you for exactly who you are, who will love you unconditionally, and help you grow into the best version of yourself. Think about the world of entrepreneurship, where so many people pour their hearts and souls into their businesses. They may spend years perfecting their craft, working tirelessly to bring their ideas to life. But at first, the world doesn't always respond. Sometimes their efforts seem invisible, their work ignored. Yet the right people, those who truly understand the value of what they're offering, will find them. It may not be immediate. It may take time. But when the right person, the right investor, or the right client recognizes the value you bring to the table, everything changes. They will see your dedication, your passion, and your innovation, and they will not only appreciate it, but they will help elevate you in ways that will transform your life. There's something incredibly empowering about knowing that the right people are out there, waiting to recognize your worth. It shifts the focus away from seeking validation from those who don't value you, and instead encourages you to cultivate patience and trust in the process. When you stop chasing approval from people who don't get you, you make space for the people who will. These are the people who will champion you, push you to be better, and remind you of your brilliance even on days when you forget it yourself. Think about an artist who spends years developing their craft. They paint, they draw, they create with passion and dedication. But when they put their work out into the world, they face criticism, rejection, and a lack of recognition. It's easy to feel like giving up. But what if the artist understood that their value wasn't tied to the opinions of critics who didn't understand their work? What if they trusted that the right person, the right collector, the right gallery, the right patron would eventually recognize their unique talent and see the worth in what they had created? The artist's journey is a perfect example of how value works in the world. When you remain true to your craft, when you keep creating and stay authentic to your vision, the right people will find you. They will see the value you've been pouring into your work all along and recognize it for what it truly is. The key takeaway from all of this is simple. Never chase people who can't see your value. It's exhausting, it's draining, and it's unnecessary. The world is full of people who will recognize and appreciate the essence of who you are. The right people will always see your value, and when they do, they will help you rise to places you never thought possible. It may take time, it may take patience, but when you trust in yourself and keep showing up authentically, those who resonate with your energy will find you. And when they do, they will help you soar. Confidence is magnetic. There is something about a person who walks into a room with a sense of self-assuredness that draws others in. It's not about arrogance or being boastful, but rather an inner knowing that radiates from within. When you have confidence, people can feel it. It's not just about how you carry yourself physically, but also about how you believe in yourself, your abilities, and your worth. Confidence is an energy that invites connection, respect, and admiration. It attracts opportunities, opens doors, and paves the way for success. And the best part, it's something that you can cultivate, nurture, and grow. Let's start by thinking about a time when you've been in the presence of someone who exuded confidence. Maybe it was a leader in your workplace, a teacher who inspired you, or a friend who knew exactly who they were and didn't need anyone else's approval. What was it about them that made them stand out? Was it the way they spoke, the way they carried themselves? Or perhaps it was the energy they brought into the room. It's that magnetic aura that makes you feel like you're in the presence of someone who knows their worth and doesn't apologize for it. Confidence is not just an outward display. It's a reflection of how you feel about yourself on the inside. Let me remind you of something important. Your worth is not up for debate. You don't need anyone's validation to confirm it. You are already enough just as you are, and you've always been. Don't let anyone else dictate your value. Stop seeking approval and start approving yourself first. When you do, you'll unlock a power within you that will propel you to new heights. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more empowering content. Keep embracing your worth and walk into your life with the confidence that you are more than enough. Your journey has just begun, and you're ready for everything the world has to offer.